All right, Carrie, are you come? Ah, there you are.
Good
Hello.
morning. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm having a wonderful but busy morning. So you've caught me in between meetings and heading to the climbing gym. It's perfect.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. You can sit and relax now during this time
Mhm.
and just enjoy. I'm so excited you got to join me. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day.
Yeah, my pleasure. This will be fun.
Yes, I am very excited. I have a recipe to make. We've got some questions, and then
I
somewhere in
love the
between.
whole recipe that you what a shtick. I dig it.
Thank you. I love it. It is.
And it falls in
It's
kind of in alignment with our mutual friend.
yes, exactly. I know. Well, it's kind of how I met her, actually. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, yeah, it all comes full circle. Yeah, I love doing this. I love creating recipes that are inspired by Hallmark Channel movies and
Oh,
shows. And
that's very charming.
well, thank you. We've got a lot of friends joining us. Hi, everybody.
Everybody.
Awesome. Well, we can start in a second. I'm going to just start by saying hello and welcome, everyone. This is Kerry James. He plays Nick, the current version, on the way home. And we're going to be chit-chatting a little bit about this last season, which we're all so sad and devastated that it's going to be ending.
Yeah, that wasn't fun to find out. We were all pretty excited about doing another one, so that's too bad. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, I think the team did the very best they could with wrapping up the season with very little warning and very quickly, and it's a tremendous season. So I hope you all enjoy it, despite the fact that it is the last one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I can tell even though what we have like 5 episodes left,
Yeah.
it's starting to get really, into the nitty-gritty. You can tell they're getting to the point where they're wrapping things up. So that's exciting. We'll be able to find out some answers, but also sad at the same time. So before we get started, I'm just going to let you guys know that I am going to be making Dell's famous apple pie, which she's never physically made on the show, but it's been alluded to many times throughout the seasons. It's been, kind of just talked about like, oh, Dell's famous apple pie. So we're going to make that. And I'm actually going to make mini versions in these little
Oh,
tins.
cute.
Isn't it
That's
cute?
very cute.
And the reason I decided to do the mini pies is because Dell is like, I feel like she would make a million pies for the community because that's like the kind of person her character is, you know.
Very
So
much so. Yeah.
I'm trying to hone in on Dell today and make all the pies for the whole community. um, so yeah, that's what we're doing. But before I start baking, we can start with a question that I
You can
have.
jump right into anything you want to know.
All right. Well, okay. So I would like to know, which I know we have a lot of people in the audience that have questions as well. So I'll save that for in a little bit. So what were your thoughts like when you first got this role and saw the premise for this show? Did you think like this is something different that I've never done before? What were your thoughts, when you learned about?
Well, of course, for me, like coming into this show, being that I've worked for Heather Conkey and Alex for so many years prior on another show, um, it was a real shock, and it was really exciting because it was so completely different from what we've worked on before together. So yeah,
Mhm.
and then especially for a Hallmark show, I thought they were pushing boundaries. It's edgy, it's emotional, there's some real weight to it,
Yeah,
there's some intense heartache that isn't offer like that same sense of like everything's always okay, because everything isn't always okay on the way home,
definitely
and that's
not.
a lot like real life. And then of course the whole time travel aspect. I'm a huge nerd by nature, and I'm pretty passionate about quantum physics and a bunch of nerd stuff. So
Oh, me too.
when I got into the show, I was very much I'm pretty sure I irritated Alex and Marley quite a bit, the showrunner and writer, because I was so like they're like worrying about the plot and the characters, and I'm like, we gotta nail down the time machine. What of three principles of time travel is this? And then I the end of the season, I'd send in like these friggin' dissertations of like principles of
Oh,
time travel and how this could work. And I had this whole yeah. So yeah, they were more focused on the characters and the plot, and I was all about the time travel, which I
okay.
think maybe subversively that might have even ended up why Nick got to take the plunge. Perhaps it was my
Yeah.
personal drive and curiosity and irritating them. They were like, maybe we should just throw the kid in the pond after all.
That's funny. I was actually going to ask you how excited you felt like when you found out you finally got to take the dive in, last season. Were you just super thrilled about being able to do that?
I was extremely excited, yes. And also because it was, the cast to go, it's like an induction, like a true induction into being part of the show forever, is the
Hmm.
cast to get to go into the pond. So I was really excited about that. And then of course, just the physical act of getting to jump in the pond and doing that with Kyler, and that it was so much fun. And she was so wonderfully supportive, especially with the pool stuff. We had a blast. We were laughing the whole time.
Oh, that sounds so fun. I've seen a lot of like behind the scenes stuff, on social media, and I imagine it's just a lot more technical than we see on our side. And is it,
No, I mean maybe, but no. I just being around Kyler and Evan and Andy and Sadie, and the entire crew and teams out there. Like we just, I get it. It's supposed to be work, but I'm a busy man in the real world. So for
yeah,
me, anytime I'm on set, that feels more like my vacation from life.
yeah.
So it's just this huge sensation of play. In
Oh,
fact, I got to work with John Fawcett last year on an episode, and he's a pretty renowned Canadian director. He brought Orphan Black to life in that, and he's an incredibly cerebral and technical guy. And
hmm.
that was actually one of the most fun experiences I've ever had on set, working with such a technical director. It was different but thrilling. So,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, wow. Okay, so before I hop into the next thing, I'm going to start on my pie crust real quick.
make it
I'm going to
happen.
pan down. Hopefully, my phone will stay on here. All right, here we
This
go.
is cool.
All right, Dell's supposed recipe. We're going to say this is Dell's recipe. So I am just going to be starting with my flour. And the next thing I want to add, this is for my pie crust, by the way. I'm going to add some salt and a little bit of sugar, and then just kind of get that incorporated. The next ingredient is going to be my cold butter. So we actually are using 2 full sticks. I know it sounds like a ton of butter, but if you want a good crust, you gotta get the butter in there. So this is a pastry blender. So we're just gonna smash it all together until you get basically it looks like little pea-sized chunks of dough. So, get your hands in there. No biggie. Da, 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 da. All right. Here we go. Okay. Not too bad. While I'm smushing this, I will move on to the next question that I have. So I will pan back up to me.
This is
Hello.
so fun. I love this. I love that there's an activity going on. It's great.
I used to be a teacher, so I got to have an activity of some kind. Um, all right, so I was curious. Were you kind of hoping that your love story would kind of expand, the way like Dell has had love interests and um, Elliot and Kat have had their relationship. Did you ever wish, oh, I wish my storyline wasn't just teenage Nick and mostly,
Um,
kind of moving forward.
I think what they did with between Nick and Alice was handled so delicately and so well. Not a, I don't want to be. Yeah, I'm glad they handled that the way they did. No, my whole storyline, I was like, I think Nick should go back in time and he should meet young Dell. And I think Nick and Dell should have a fling so that we should come back to the future. And then Nick sees Dell, and I'm just like, oh my God, Andy McDowell. Like, that's what I wanted to bring to life. But I think that was more of a personal thing than maybe a Nick overall decision.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Andy
But
McDowell is a very charming lady. So
oh,
put that out there.
she's awesome. She's an icon. She did
She
just win an
is an
icon award.
icon. It was a pleasure being around her and working with her.
I bet. That is awesome. Yeah, so do we have any prospect of Nick, I don't know, connecting
There's a
with
few there's a few
Megan?
episodes left, so I can't say anything.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
think you guys will enjoy the playfulness of the last few episodes regarding some of that storyline.
Woo, okay. I
Ooh,
like
but
a little
yeah.
tease. No, I know you can't say much. Any
Alex
kind
would
of,
kill me. She would kill me, so.
I would never expect you to say anything, but any kind of little Easter eggs, we are here for. So we'll take that. Okay, I'm going to go back down into my dough. I'm getting my phone so dirty right now. Okay. All right, so I've got my pea-sized dough. It's just basically you're going to see big chunks of butter, and that's what's going to help make this dough very flaky. And then the next kind of weird sounding ingredient, I have ice water, but there's also a little bit of white vinegar in here. So this is going to also help get a super flaky crust. A lot of people use, like shortening, which is fine, but I feel like butter just has such, just a lot more flavor than shortening. So, and this is totally what Dell would do. She would just make everything from scratch, right? All right, so let's just pretend that I've kneaded this because for time's sake, don't really have time to knead it all the way. But I do have a finished product that I will show you. So once that's all kneaded, you're actually gonna wrap it up and pop it in the fridge for at least an hour. And then unwrap it when you're ready. And this has been actually for more than an hour, it's been sitting. But you just wanna rip off your piece. I'm an eyeballer. I don't know about you. Do you bake or cook at all?
No, not even a little bit. Not even remotely. It's all too much work. I don't
Well,
even think I can cook craft dinner. Like that's the kind of guy I am. I don't do that stuff. I'll
nothing
just
wrong with that.
yeah, I'll just couple matzo burgers a day, maybe a flamethrower from DQ. Good to go.
Mhm. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. There's always shortcuts you can take too. If you were to
I
make
just
this
don't
at
have
home.
it in me. I don't have it in me. I'm impressed by all of it, and I certainly can appreciate a good pastry and some delicious food, but man, just no time or aptitude for it.
I totally get it. You're a busy guy. All right. So again, I just eyeball. If you're a measuring type of person, go for it. But this is supposed to look rustic. So I'm going to take my cute baby pie pan and I'm
Very
just going
cute.
to put this in here and set it aside. All right. Also, before I move on, I got 7 apples here. I like to do a variety of green and red, like, Gala, Macintosh, a whole variety, because I feel like it gives a lot more flavor. So while I cut up all my apples, we can move on to the next thing. um, so I know you said you obviously can't tell us any secrets or things that are
Well,
going
I
to.
wouldn't want to because it would ruin things for you guys too. So yeah.
No, no, of course. No, no one would ever expect you to spill any beans. Just curious if you ever figured out for yourself how things kind of connected and, or if you were just kind of in the dark with the rest of us until a certain point.
Um, That's the thing is like, it's such an ensemble cast and there's so many complex storylines going on. I
Yes.
sincerely doubt sometimes that Alex and Marley even knew who was going to do what next or when. Like there
Yeah.
was a lot. I mean, those girls like talk about a team of talented writers and creators to juggle that many complex storylines and keeping track of these relatives popping up in different presents. And yeah, it was mind blowing. So I was just happy to be along for the ride, and I knew, especially Sam Braun, who played the younger version of Nick, he laid a really terrific just tempo for
Hmm.
me to build on, and we slowly built a little bit more maturity into Nick. But one of the things that we never lost, and probably the reason I think Heather and Alex decided to give me this opportunity was. I can get pretty excited and joyous when I'm having a good time, and that reads rather loudly, which I think lends itself to a lot of Sam's tempo as well. So
Hmm.
I think Nick in so many ways represented the audience's experience on the show, or how we were hoping the audience, because Nick had he had the questions that he asked about the world were the same questions that the audience, or at least the showrunners, were hoping the audiences were
Yes.
actually asking. So Nick was sort of this I don't know, obscure anomaly element to all of it. He was there as a just to be on the ride and comment and
Yes.
ask questions on behalf of us at home.
Yes, I can definitely see that. I feel like we relate to Nick very much. And I also feel like and it's kind of very similar to your real personality, just adds like a
Yeah. Yeah.
lightness, you know?
And and I made a few choices just personally, and these things are things that actors, when it comes to being an actor, at the end of the day, most of what's happening, most of the choices we make are usually defined by casting, because they look for people that are going to bring that natural tempo they're looking for. But we get to be creative with the little choices that you don't always see. And so one of them for me was I decided very early on to give Nick this Cheshire cat quality. Like
Yes.
he knew a little bit more than he was letting on. And I know that's a funny thing to play, but what it gave me was that glimmer of I know something you don't know. And it doesn't
Mm.
matter to the audience. The audience doesn't need to see that. All they see is that glimmer of I'm
Yes.
not actually letting you all know what I know. And that was a choice I decided to just push into Nick,
Yeah.
because I thought it made him more interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think you made the right choice there. Um, I forgot what I was going to ask you next. Uh, ah, totally lost it. Darn it. Okay, well, I'll move on to the next question. It might come back to me. So I actually had someone, her name is Betsy. She is a fan. She wrote in a question prior to this live, and it's kind of like a three-part question. She said, some of my favorite scenes are from you and Evan whenever Elliot gets worried that Nick is still into Alice. His reactions are hilarious. Are those scenes as fun as they look?
Evan Williams, like just tremendously talented guy, wonderful human being, and extremely easy to bond with. He was
Mhm.
just, they were more fun than they looked, because what you guys don't see is the manic laughter before and after. So
Yeah.
we were constantly having to rein in the level of play we were like just giving off. It was some big energy. We had a lot of fun together, and
Oh,
for those musical numbers, like Evan is an incredibly like a triple threat, like a real actor, right? He sings, he dances,
oh my
he's
gosh.
a highly talented individual. I'm barely an actor,
Oh,
let alone do
stop
I sing
it.
or act. No, no, it's cool. I'm very comfortable with that. Um, but I'm so when we did those songs, like I was in the room recording them with Evan, and Evan would literally he's standing there because he sings and he knows notes and shit, and I don't know any of
Oh,
that stuff. So he's literally like he's looking at me and mouthing the words with me, and he'll be like up, and I'll
uh-huh.
try to sing it and then down. Yeah, no, that guy is the man. He walked me through that whole experience, and I think brought a level of levity and confidence out in it that I don't think would have been there without his support. So really, I really appreciate Evan Williams. Awesome, awesome man.
Oh, I love it. I can see that true bond through the screen. Like you can just tell you guys have fun together.
Well, he's just,
And
and it's cool. He thinks of things like, being such a theatrical guy, like he really, really cerebral and really processes what acting is and the choices he makes. Whereas I'm a little more off the cuff,
right.
organic, especially, that lends itself so much to Nick. Whereas,
Yes.
um, uh, um, um, Evan's character, who I'm blanking on right now, but Evan's character is a lot more
Elliot.
like neurotic and cerebral. Yeah, Elliot.
Yeah.
So it made perfect sense, just the dichotomy. And I think Evan's the kind of guy too that, I think a good actor, whether you like it or not, you end up
Right.
getting into character well in advance to actually being on set. And so the isms of Nick and the isms of Elliot start
Yeah.
to get a hold of us
Yeah.
weeks in advance. And so by the time we get there, even when we're in a soundstage, as Carrie and Evan, we still can't help but lean into our characters, and that
Yeah.
made that made a very instant friendship, I think.
Oh, that's so cool. I can see, based on like a lot of other behind the scenes that I have seen, the whole cast seems to be very close knit, even outside of,
Actually,
but
I was even jealous sometimes because we'd all be in town and at work at different times, and
yeah.
certainly the younger casts this last year, the '70s cast, and that
Yeah.
those kids, them kids seemed like they had a terrific time. I only got to run into them a few times actually on set, but what a lovely group of people, just a
Oh,
terrific group of kids, and it was really cool just watching them all bond. And now every time I open up my Instagram, I see they all still hang out and get up to things together. It's very
oh.
charming.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. I just love the whole cast. You all meld well, very very well together. Um, I am just about done with my apples. I have one last apple, and then I'm thinking. Oh, I actually do have one more question from a fan. She asked, "Can you share anything about Claire?" That was a very quick kind of thing with Nick and Claire, his ex-fiance. Is there any backstory to that, or was that just kind of a one and done situation?
I can't say
You
anything.
can't say.
But I
Okay,
think
okay,
you will enjoy the next 4 episodes.
okay, okay. That's all you need to say.
But that's a big that's a wink, okay? So
I
just
got it.
enjoy the next 4 episodes, you guys.
Got it. That's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I think I will say, I think the writers really did make sure to touch on absolutely every single loose thread. So
Yeah.
what's coming up in these next few episodes will cinch everything together in a way that I think you will all be very pleased with.
Hmm.
Again, shows we don't get to control
Right.
always when we want to end and what the story will be. So be gentle because this was not our anticipated end, and we had to finish a year earlier than we would have liked to at
Oh,
minimum.
sure.
So just try and appreciate how much extreme work went in on behalf of the writers and production team to make all these stories lines wrap up. They've
Yeah.
done a tremendous job. You'll all be happy.
I bet we will. When it's crunch time, you just figure out a way, and I'm sure it's all going to come together the way it's supposed to. So we're all looking forward to seeing that. All right. I'm going to start on my apples, and then if it's okay with you, I'm going to open up the questions
Yeah,
to
have at
our
her.
our viewers. So
That sounds great.
awesome. All right. So back to the apples. Like I said, I have a variety of apples here. I think that makes for the best taste. I make applesauce with a variety, so I know that it makes the best apple pie too. So we've got a little sweet, a little tangy. I've got my sugar, and I've measured everything out, so I'm not just like plopping in whatever. And then we got our brown sugar, and my secret is the usual is like nutmeg, cinnamon, but I use pumpkin pie spice because even though I'm not making pumpkin pie, it has all the good stuff in it. So that's what I like to use. And it smells like Christmas in here when you're baking this, let me tell you. So I already squirted a whole bunch of lemon juice on these apples before because I had pre-peeled them, and the lemon juice will keep them from getting brown. So there is lemon juice in there, but you do not taste lemon whatsoever in that. All right. Just gonna mix that up really, really well. And as you let this kind of settle, the juice, it's gonna start getting juicy. So you're gonna have some liquid on the bottom of your bowl, which you do not wanna get into your pie. So if there is liquid, just, drain it out. And I'm going to pile in my apples that are covered in all the yummy goodness. And now I'm going to roll out one more piece for my top. All right, there we go. I'm going to add a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick. And this little roller I'm using is actually for fondant. I don't know if you're familiar with fondant,
I've
but
never heard of that before.
it's it's when you see a really fancy cake that has really clean, smooth lines. That's made with fondant. It's basically like a sheet of sugar.
You know
Um,
what I saw a lady do on the internet the other day? She made an apple pie, but then
mhm.
right when the pie was like done and ready to go in the oven, she took like cheesecake filling and poured it in all the holes in the pie.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Delicious, like dangerously delicious.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very dangerous combo. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm going to put this. You want it to be a little bit bigger than your pan, so you can crimp it on the corners. And again, this is rustic because that is just how things are on the way home, rustic 1800s, 1970s, 1920s, whatever era you're in, you can make a rustic pie. All right, so now I'm just going to make little slits because we want the steam to escape. Oh, I don't know if you could see that. We want the steam to escape and not have our pie explode on us in the oven. All right, so the only thing left to do is it's called an egg wash, which I have to get my egg still, but I'm just gonna brush it on here and then sprinkle it with some sugar, and then I'll show you the finished product in a bit. And while that is happening, I'm gonna open up the questions. You might need to, I think people may have been asking as we've gone, may need to back up a little. Let's see. Oh, Betsy said thank you for answering her question earlier.
You're welcome, Betsy.
Let's see. Okay. Oh, someone said it's like edible Play-Doh or clay. Yes, baking can be like Play-Doh. Okay, so Vanessa is asking, how does filming in the pond look, and do the under how do they do the underwater scenes?
Well, they're shot on completely separate days. So when you see us and we are in the pond underwater, that's actually a pool in someone's backyard. I think the director of photography. So yeah, it's just it's a pool, and we decorate it and bring in stuff, and there's scuba divers and underwater cameras in the works. And then every time we're above the water, or our heads are up, we're at the actual pond on location.
Oh my God. Okay, so there is a real pond that at some point.
It's a real pond. There's a real
Oh,
pond. So when
ah.
pool,
Oh, you're freezing up a little bit. Oh, there you are. Okay.
we're good.
Yep. Wow. Okay. So I wasn't sure if it was just a pool to look like a pond or
No,
very.
it's a real pond.
Okay. That's great. Okay. Um, all right. Do we have more questions? Let's see.
Positively, Brad asks, Kerry, are you Canadian? To which I would answer, I consider myself more of an Albertan.
Is there a difference? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, you're American, so you're not in stuff, but yes,
Sorry.
yes, that the long answer is yes.
Okay, I guess Canadians probably know the difference.
They will.
Me
They'll
from
they'll they'll know what it means.
uh okay, what is next for you and the other actors? Well, I know you can't say much, but we will see you
Yep,
again.
there's some more of me in the way home, and as far as the other actors, what they're up to next, I'm not really too sure. Acting's a funny, fickle industry. Just because you've worked doesn't necessarily mean you will again. So I imagine most of us are auditioning. I see a lot of the youngsters working on different projects in that, which is terrific. I know Andy
Mhm.
just did a movie here in Alberta with
Ah,
Sean Johnson, who plays character, one of the lead characters on a show called Heartland, which is the other
yeah.
project I'm involved with, which
Yes.
we've been back at camera for season 20 for a couple weeks now, and I officially start on the show next Friday. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's huge. Yay. Congrats. Wow. Season 20.
Yes, the show that just now would end.
It's like Grey's Anatomy. It's been on for like 40 years. I don't even know.
Right?
That is awesome. And okay, okay. Any hopes? Not saying if this is or is not a fact happening, but any hopes of some kind of spin-off or something?
Yeah,
Um,
I think they should do a Way Home movie. I still have
ooh,
hopes that after this season airs and networks look at it, that maybe they bring us all back together next year for a season five. Like I know that's an unrealistic long shot. So you have to understand, like, the film industry is an industry and it is a business first.
mm-hmm.
And so, like, you look at a show and you wonder why a show like The Way Home could possibly fail, especially with, the Emmys and just all of this
Yes.
popularity. Well, I understand it, like, without any judgment whatsoever. Looking at the business model of it, Hallmark, what they put in to create a show like The Way Home is stunningly substantial. The world,
Hmm.
the budget, you're essentially making 10 feature films about one cast in a year.
Yeah.
The infrastructure around that is massive.
Yes.
For a 16th of that price for the season, you could make 24 or 30 movies, Hallmark movies, that same year, that
Mm-hmm.
are all going to hit one at a time and do relatively well on
Yeah.
their own. So it's a better business model for them than it is to greenlight an enormous production like this. Regardless of the value the production seems to give back to Hallmark, the returns just aren't there. And
Mhm.
television is changing and dying medium slowly.
Yeah.
Perhaps it will be reinvigorated in the future, and I hope it is, because
I
I,
hope
I
so.
definitely enjoy being a part of it. But the world's changing big time, and I think a show like The Way Home getting effectively canceled is proof that things are changing fast. And
Yeah.
we're going to be looking at a new model of what the film industry is very soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And yeah, I feel like right now people are reverting back to, 80s, 90s, like just nostalgia. I think even though, technology and everything now it's cool and it has its place, it's also, I think we miss a lot of what used to be. And taking away good shows, I think is
I
something
I
people are going to
I
miss.
I hope that it reflects that those shows are worth continuing to make. But it's hard to say whether that will hold true or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I have, let's see, there's a question here. We're going to start wrapping up in a minute. That time,
I'm easy, no pressure.
okay. Someone says machine, you gave off massive golden retriever vibes. Did you ad lib that whole moment?
Yes, that was largely. It was really cool on this show because some shows they don't appreciate any ad libs at all. But a good actor, you don't actually ad lib on the day when you're running your lines and you're laying in bed the night before.
Mhm.
After you've already learned your lines, that's when you test your ad libs out. So
Oh,
they're scripted in a sense. Every now and
right.
then something comes off the cuff, but I am a pretty cerebral guy, despite the jubilant energy I can give off. And so all of the ad libs that I have, I usually run them by the writers or the showrunner in the morning. I go, hey, after this, I was thinking I'm gonna try this. Would you be open to that? And sometimes they go, oh, that doesn't really feel like it's right. But 9 times out of 10 on this show, they were like, yeah, try it. What's the harm? And
Yeah.
sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't. But I feel for that episode rather specifically because Nick was going into the time machine, that gave me a little bit more freedom to play with a few things. But that
Yeah.
said, 99.999% of what you hear out of Nick's mouth
Yeah.
is scripted in there.
Yeah.
I was really blown away by Alex, the showrunner, who again I've known as a capacity as a writer. Her and Heather, they're essentially like family to me. I was blown away by her as a showrunner on set every day, available for questions. And it's a different medium. Like television really is a producer's medium in terms of the showrunner and the producer really govern how the show is shot and what happens. And Alex was there every single day to guide cast members, directors through the whole process so that we could keep that symmetry and feel. Mind-blowingly talented woman.
Wow. Wow. That's very cool. Oh my goodness. We have a lot of new people just joining us now. Hi everyone. We're going to start wrapping up soon. If anyone that just popped in has any questions, this is the time to bring them in. I'm going to just, while we're waiting, I'll just update you on the pie. So like I said earlier, I need to brush this with an egg wash and then sprinkle it. Where's my sugar? I don't know where I put it. Sprinkle it with a crystallized sugar. These are going to bake. I'm putting 4 or 5 in the oven at the same time, just on a big tray. They're going to bake at 375 for about 25 minutes covered, and then take off the foil and continue another 25 minutes until dun, 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 dun. This is how they look when they're done.
Hey,
Dun,
that
dun,
was
dun, dun.
delicious. I want one.
So the holes, yes, here you go. Num num num.
Oh,
The
that's
holes.
adorable.
Thank you. The holes were to, let the steam escape while it was cooking or baking, and then really quick. So I like, oh, what did I do? Okay. I like to take them out of the little tins because I feel like the presentation is just so cute. But if you're giving them to individual people, like I'm sure Dell would be doing, I just take it out and it's like a little hand pie. You could just go to town eating it with your hands. You don't even need a fork. And here we are. There's our little Landry pies, we should call them.
It's funny because I bet Kat couldn't cook a pie to save her life.
Yeah, all right.
Like, there's no chance Kat could cook anything.
Well, she's just too busy time
She's
traveling.
too busy trying to save the world.
Exactly. There's no time for pie when you're jumping in the pond all the time. All right, let's see. Okay, yes, my sister wants to eat one later. He will get one, don't worry. Uh, any other questions before we wrap things up? I'll wait a second. Any other questions? Mm-mm-mm. Elliot is the one cooking in that relationship.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I can see that. I can see that for sure. I'm sure he has a cookbook somewhere in that library of his in his house. Okay, well, if there's no more questions, we can wrap it up.
Well, thank you for having me on your show this morning. This was wonderful fun.
Thank you. No, this was the most fun ever. I love, all the little tidbits of information, even though you can't give us
I can't say too much
everything, which is
specifically,
fine. No, this
right?
has been so much fun, and I wish I could give you a little pie, but
Maybe
you
one
know,
day, if I'm ever down that
maybe
way,
one day.
make it happen.
Definitely. Come
Thank
come
you
out
again.
Midwest. I will make you some and I'll give you some.
Deal.
Um, got a lot of people saying thanks in the comments.
Thank you all for
Um,
watching. Hope you're
yeah,
having wonderful days.
thank you so much. It was great finally getting to meet you face to face, and I can't wait to see the rest of the season. And
I
best of
really
luck
hope
on
you enjoy it.
Heartland.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a fun one. Don't start watching it if you haven't. It's too many seasons. You get stuck.
Oh, oh, okay. Well,
Have a lovely day.
you too. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.